back, everyone. We have another exciting unboxing and review of the new Hammond Collection Delta figure from Mattel. I honestly forgot when this pre-order was supposed to drop, so when I saw the Target notification, I was like, oh my gosh, it's already happening. So I'm excited about this. Let's unbox this baby and see what it has to offer. Delta is now our 5th Raptor within the Hammond Collection and our 2nd out of 4 from the Raptor Squad. Very happy that we are getting the Raptor Squad, and to be honest, more Raptors in general is typically a good thing. I don't know if I particularly have a favorite from the Raptor Squad. I really like Charlie. Blue obviously is a fan favorite, but I do like Charlie. I like Charlie's color scheme, a little bit more of that like kind of brighter green. I mean, green is my favorite color, but overall, Delta looks amazing. I do wish more of them survived within Jurassic World, but they had to do their due diligence to help Blue and help Rexy defeat the Indominus Rex. Target is usually the go-to place to pick up Hammond Collection figures. There are other sites like Entertainment Earth and Big Bad Toy Store that will occasionally carry some figures. But right now, this is hitting Target stores. The price point is $14.99. And then here is the barcode and the Target DPCI to help you track this down. I am such a fan of the Hammond Collection. This is one of my favorite lines to collect. I have basically every single figure. I'm missing a Gallimimus, but every time I open up a new dinosaur, I love it more and more. These are just so highly detailed, the articulation, just everything combined, and they are still an affordable price, which is like even better. But Delta is no exception to the greatness this line has to offer. Her color schemes look great. You can see the nice little striping throughout. She has a little bit of a more muted, darker green color to her. Her nails are nice and painted, which looks great. Despite having an immense amount of articulation, her joints don't stick out. Nothing looks ill proportioned. For example, her tail, which is rubber and has like a metal wire within it, connects to a plastic body, and they're able to match the color tones like perfectly. Like one shade doesn't look darker or lighter than the other. Everything looks nice and cohesive. That is one of my favorite things about this line. Now, Delta and Blue are the first Raptors that have a little glass eye to them, which we'll give you a close-up here. Which we know from the beginning of this line, they had a little bit of an issue getting the glass eyes to look amazing, but they have come a long way. And I mean, you gotta cut them some slack. They're trying something totally brand new that's never been done to any Jurassic items before. So it's gonna take some finessing and kind of working out the kinks to make it look the way it does now. You know I'm a fan of the close-up, so I gotta show you what this eye looks like. Now, I know the light I have it at right now is not impressive. However, if I take another light and shine it on there, this can give you a better idea of what it looks like. And it has a nice little green hue to it. Let me try to zoom in a little bit. Nice little green hue. Pupil is nice and centered. Doesn't look wonky or offset. Now, that looks great. That is a better idea of what this eye looks like. Cool little green hue to it, and that is really sweet. I mean, how they're able to do that on such a small little figure is amazing. Both of these eyes are individual pieces, so it's not one complete, set. So I can't shine this light through one eye and have it going through the other, which is fine. It's not a big deal or anything like that. It's just something to point out. And taking a closer look at her left eye, see if I can get that sweet spot again. You can see her pupil on this side is also nice and symmetrical. And there you go. There's some of that green hue right there. Looks fantastic. Very impressed with what they've done to the eyes on these Raptors. Let's jump right into articulation, starting with the jaw. It is on a hinge joint. We can open it up about that far and go even more, basically breaking the jaw. And then we can close it back on in, making it nice and flush. Looks wonderful. Very happy about that. What's so cool is I can open it up just a little bit if I want to, showing some teeth, and then open up a little bit more, give her a more of an aggressive look. That's just really sweet. They did a good job there. You can see there is some nice painted details to the inside of the mouth. We have a little tongue that's painted and sculpted in, as well as the teeth. Her neck has two separate areas for joints. Both of them seem to be hinges and swivels. So you can see that hinge joint right there. That will allow her to look upwards. Oh my gosh. Wow, that's awesome. In conjunction with both of these joints, she can look basically straight up in the air, in a standing position. That is incredible. So if I take this joint and I don't move this one right here, I can take her head and she can look straight ahead, straight on, no problem. Not so much looking down from just this joint alone, but if I combine these two, then that's when I'll be able to get her to look all the way down. That is crazy. That range of motion is absolutely insane. Very impressed by the improvements they have made from our first Jurassic Park raptors to what we have now. Here's her looking straight on, like chasing you. This is like one of the last things that I want to see. Running me down, no thank you. But we do have a swivel joint here, so I should be able to take this head, and oh my gosh, I can go all the way around from this upper segment here, and then I can do the exact same thing with this lower one that connects to the body. Down from that, we have her body. It is pretty hollow, which is fine because it doesn't add some extra unnecessary weight. But at the shoulders, same type of deal. Hinges and swivels, this has been the standard from our very first raptor, so we can bring her arms up about that high or so, and then we can obviously spin it on around. No big surprise there. This is pretty consistent with what we have. And then below that, we have our little elbow joint, and we should be able to flex it on forward. Let's do this guy right here. Flex it up, ooh, a great amount, and then any hyperextension? No, pretty much just going all the way straight, but that is great. And then finally, we do have a swivel there, so I can rotate this arm around, and that will just give her even more character. At the body, it is one solid piece. It is hollow on the inside, which I do like because that does not make her too top heavy and putting too much pressure on the joints. But at the leg, starting with the thigh, I can take this and rotate it all the way around. And then we do have a break here at the knee, which has some articulation going backwards a little bit, and then I should be able to extend forward, which is great. And there's also that swivel joint allowing me to rotate all the way around. And then just below that, we have our traditional joint at the ankle. I could take this foot, flex it backwards a great amount, and then I can flex it forward also. That is great. That's going to give her a lot of character. And then of course I could take this and spin it on around. The claws are nice and painted. They look great. Very happy about this because we know some of the mainline dinosaurs have claws that are painted on either the toes or just the claws. Oh, and there is a little bit of articulation on the inner thighs, so I can take them and flex them outwards and inwards. It's not a whole lot of movement, but hey, it still is something. And for that glorious tail, it is on a swivel joint that connects to the body, so we can take it and rotate it from the base. And this entire piece is made out of like a rubber type of material that has a wire throughout, so we can get some crazy posability out of it. But I would warn you, when you get closer to the tip right here where the wire is finished, you want to be careful how much you flex that because you don't want the wire to puncture through this rubber piece here. When it comes to comparisons, I believe she has the exact same sculpting that Blue does. I mean, it would make sense because they are both from the Raptor squad. These seem to be the best Velociraptors that we have so far from the Hammond collection. I mean, they have really stepped up their game since the JP1s, even as far as like articulation goes. But here's a comparison of all the Raptors that have been released so far within the Hammond collection, and I do thoroughly love them from start to finish. And it is funny to see the differences from when they started to what we have now. To start, here is our JP1 Raptor next to Delta. First thing that you can see is that the eyes are painted on compared to like the glass eye effect. And then here at the legs, the proportions are completely different. So much skinnier, much smaller, whereas Delta, everything is a lot more proportioned and it just looks like a more accurate sculpt. And then one of the biggest things is going to be added articulation and range of motion. Delta can look all the way straight up in the air, whereas our JP1 cannot. That's about as high as I can get her to look. You can see they were able to achieve that by adding an extra joint to Delta, while also exposing the joints a little bit, but that gave her a lot more range of motion. I mean, look how big of a difference that is. Things got a little bit better when we got to the female Raptor. Double joints there so she can look all the way up, no problem. No glass eye just yet, but the painty tails do look really good. I am a big fan of this Raptor, and I am just overall a big fan of JP3, so I had to have her, and she is definitely one of my favorite Hammond collection figures. However, the legs and feet did stay the same on her, just oversized and then ill-proportioned as far as the leg goes. Same thing can be said about the male Raptor, oversized feet, a little bit of a smaller legs. The double joints are there at the neck, so great range of motion. However, the sculpting to the head was just a little off. It wasn't it wasn't exactly accurate, and the paint applications were lacking a bit too. It was definitely the least appealing Raptor that we have. I mean, they tried. Hopefully we can get a better one down the line because how well that they've done with Delta, but who knows. Then we have Blue, which is basically the same thing as Delta and are essentially perfect Velociraptors, and I cannot wait to get more of them. Hopefully they maintain this sculpt and this design because they are truly a wonderful piece. And you know what, I might as well give you a quick comparison of our Amber Collection Delta compared to our Hammond Collection. I miss the Amber collection. I'm sad that it didn't get to live as long as it should have, you know, but I know there was some problems with the line. But nonetheless, they were great figures, and I still love and cherish them. And overall, she is still a very fun piece. Could you imagine if they put a glass eye on the Amber collection figures, like if the line got that far? Man, that would look crazy. That's going to do it for this unboxing and review of the new Hammond Collection Delta figure. I think she's great. I mean, the sculpting is the best that we've ever had so far. The articulation is phenomenal, and that little glass eye is like the icing on top of the cake. The price point is $14.99. You can find her at Target stores right now. Of course, I will put all the links in the description below. I think this is a great sign that we're going to get the rest of the Raptor squad, and hopefully they all look as good as she does. And honestly, the Hammond Collection is just so fun to collect. I mean, the immense amount of detail and articulation while still keeping a pretty affordable price range is just a collector's dream. I don't know what it is about the Hammond Collection figures, but once they are done and no longer in shelf or online, they tend to shoot up in value, and I feel like she is also going to be the case. So if you see her and you want her, grab her while you can. But thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed this unboxing and review, be sure to like and subscribe. It helps out the channel and lets me know that I'm doing a good job. Make sure you connect with me on Instagram and TikTok to stay up to date when new things drop, like the rest of the Hammond Collection figures. Until then, collectors, I'll see y'all in the next video.